Emily had taken a new job at the local convenience store, working the night shift. It wasn't her ideal job, but after her recent breakup, she needed the distraction, and the extra cash didn't hurt either. The streets were quiet at night, and the store felt oddly peaceful. That was until the third week of her shift. It started with subtle things. One night, as she restocked the shelves, Emily noticed the temperature dropped suddenly. The fluorescent lights flickered, casting erratic shadows across the aisles. She shrugged it off, attributing it to the old electrical wiring. But then she heard it, a faint whisper like someone saying her name. Emily. She turned quickly, scanning the empty store, her heart racing. No one was there, just the hum of the refrigeration units and the soft ticking of the clock on the wall. Shaking off the unease, she continued working. It was probably just the wind or her imagination. Another night, while she was behind the counter, she caught a glimpse of movement in the security monitor. The camera above the frozen aisle showed a figure, a shadowy silhouette standing still, facing the aisle of ice cream. When she looked up, there was no one there, just empty aisles lined with brightly colored boxes. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, but no one else seemed to notice. By the time her fourth week rolled around, the shadows in the store became her constant companions, and the whispers turned to laughter, soft, mocking, and chilling. Each time she looked away, she felt the eyes on her, waiting for her to falter. One particularly quiet night, as she was cleaning the coffee machines, the lights flickered violently, plunging the store into darkness for a brief moment. When they returned, the atmosphere felt heavy, as if the air itself had thickened with dread. That was when she saw him, a man in a dark hoodie standing at the entrance, completely still. "Can I help you?" Emily asked, her voice sounding smaller than she intended as it echoed through the silent store. He didn't reply. Instead, he just stood there, his face hidden in shadow. A chill ran down her spine as she felt a familiar whisper creep into her ear. "Emily." Instinct kicked in, and she reached for the phone to call for help. But the line was dead. Panic flooded her senses. She looked back at the entrance, but the man had vanished. Heart racing, she peered through the glass door, searching the parking lot, lit by the flickering neon sign. Nothing, just an empty expanse of asphalt and a lonely streetlight casting long shadows. She tried to shake the fear from her mind and returned to cleaning, but the laughter echoed around her. "Emily, play with us," it taunted. Frantically, she grabbed a broom and swung it toward the shadows, hoping to dispel whatever malevolence lingered. As the clock ticked toward midnight, the unease peaked. Just then her phone buzzed. A text from her best friend. "Hey, aren't you off at midnight? I'll come pick you up." Grateful, she texted back, "Yes, please hurry." Minutes felt like hours as she waited, her senses sharp. Then, just as the door chimed, she turned to see her friend step inside. Before she could call out, a rush of cold air enveloped them both, flickering the lights above. Suddenly, the man in the hoodie reappeared behind Emily, his breath cold against her neck. "Emily," he whispered once more. But this time it was not soft. It was a demand. As her friend turned in confusion, the figure lunged for Emily. She screamed, her voice piercing the night. But the air seemed to absorb the sound. In a split second, her friend was knocked to the floor, and Emily was shoved aside, the figure collapsing into the shadow next to the aisle. Lights flickered, and with a loud pop, they went out completely. In the darkness, the whispers roared, echoing in the blackness and clawing at her sanity. The unmistakable sensation of being watched surrounded Emily. Her friend, dazed but getting up, grabbed her arm. "We need to get out." They stumbled toward the door, but it wouldn't budge. It felt as if something was holding it fast from the other side. The laughter grew louder. The whispers, now desperate cries. Just then the lights flickered back to life, revealing the store intact and silent. But both girls were alone. "Where did he go?" Emily panted, looking around. "What are you talking about?" her friend asked, eyes wide with fear. "Nobody's here but us." "No, the man. He was right there." They rushed to the door, and with one final push, it swung open into the night. The cold air felt like freedom. Together,